We're gonna let the beast out. Caged up, held down for far too long. You ready? Be ready. Breathe in, smell the victory. Breathe out, let go of all the doubt you feel. Believe, reject defeat. Don't ever be afraid to be a legend. When it's on the line, seize the moment when the moment's right. Come on, you're in this fight. Don't ever be afraid to be a legend. Stand the test of time. Seize the moment. Come on, believe you're in this fight. Don't ever be afraid to be a legend. Hold up, are you listening? Focus in, we're looking to make history. Let's go, we know.
Man, it's Tuesday night, and you guys know what that means. It's time for the one and only PreGame Blitz. I'm not sure why I'm holding my arms out because you guys can't see that on the screen, but you get the idea of what I'm talking about. We're in a great mood tonight. The band is back together. I got the super fans waiting in the backstage, the virtual backstage area. Justin Haley is in the house. George Braddock is holding down the fort over in Waycross. We're waiting for Cole Moore to join us in the backstage area. I'm just pumped up and ready for this show tonight. So anyway, guys, welcome to the PreGame Blitz. Tuesday night, it's time to talk some high school football. It's perfect. This time of year, it is perfect because it is pre-season, not preseason, but spring game season. Spring practice is almost here. Some teams have already started with their middle schools, their ninth grades going through spring practice now. Others will start up pretty soon. That means we're going to have spring games pretty soon. And so that will take us through the end of May. And then once June hits, the 7-on-7 summer season is upon us, and that'll run through about a month or so. And then we get into the end of July, and that's when we start really revving up the engines for the fall football season. So this time of year is really the starting point. We are like horses in the chutes waiting for the gates to open to bust through it. And that's why I'm so excited about it. So, Josh Garnto, Chase, man, I'm sorry. I forgot. I just saw your comment up there. I forgot to call you to let you know about the Lowndes middle school direction. So good stuff there. Send me another text after show. I'll give you a call and we can talk in detail about that. So good stuff coming. Good stuff coming. So let me go ahead and before I bring out our super fans onto the screen, let me go ahead and thank our sponsors, because without them, man, we would still continue the show, but they make it a lot easier to buy equipment, introduce the licensed music that's not infringing on copyrights, because we try to do everything above board here, right? We license our music, we license the software, the graphics, everything that we do is above board, and that's the way we like to do it. So nothing bootleg here, man. This is a professional production, right? So anyway, let me go ahead and thank our sponsors, the Pepsi Bottling Company right here in Valdosta. Guys, these guys, you know, there's a buddy of mine up in Berrien County. I'm not going to call him out, but, you know, he's a big Coke guy, and he was kind of disrespecting Pepsi today. And Pepsi's my brand. Pepsi is my brand. So he's disrespecting Pepsi, and it's like, I had to back up my brand. It's like, what are you talking about, man? Pepsi, great. Pepsi's awesome. Look at all the different flavors. Pepsi is a very innovative company. And this is one of the innovative products right here, Pepsi Spark. Fantastic product, but that might not be your style, your flavor. So we also provide, or not we, but they provide Pepsi, Mountain Dew, Rockstar, Mountain Dew Energy. Like I said, Mountain Dew Spark, and the list goes on and on and on. So don't buy another brand. Go out to your local Circle K or wherever, you know, Food Line, Winn-Dixie, Walmart, Publix, and pick you up a case of Pepsi or Pepsi products. You can't go wrong. So we also want to thank Tim Neesmith, shadeofperfection.com. This guy is the bomb when it comes to a shade of, of course he is. It's his company. What I meant to say Well, you can tell how excited I am, right? The words are barely just coming out of my mouth. I'm tripping all over my words. This guy does a great job of customizing shades and blinds. If you have the need for that, give our buddy Tim Neesmith a call. He'll set you up. After spring football season, some of you might be a little depressed. Some of you are going to be elated. Some of you are going to suffer from migraines. If that's the case, these two gentlemen that you see on the screen, Josh Batson and Justin Haskin, with the Migraine and Spine Clinic of Valdosta, can help you overcome your migraine issues. So give those guys a call. White Oak Investment Company, Kyle Conger. Guys, listen, you've been seeing what the market's been doing. That might be affecting your 401k. It might be affecting your life savings. It could be affecting your plan for the future. Now's the time to need a steady hand guiding your financial ship, right? Give Kyle Conger a call at White Oak Investment. He can help you navigate these turbulent waters. I'm not a financial advisor, so I can't tell you what you need to do, but I can tell you what I do. I call Kyle and he helps me to navigate these issues. So anyway, White Oak Investment and Management Company. Give Kyle a call at 229-850-8848. Matthew Godwin with Verizon Wireless on Perimeter Road. If you need iPhones, Androids, accessories, small business accounts, I just hooked him up yesterday with another guy that's got 15 lines. You got it. You heard me right. 15 lines. And Matthew handled it just like that. One of our newest sponsors, Freedom with Steve Nichols. It doesn't matter if you're in Lowndes County, Cook, Brooks, Thomasville, Tifton, Berrien, Lanier, wherever you are, or if you're in Alaska. Well, Alaska might be a little far because you'd have to get up really, really early. Steve's got a Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. political focused show, and he calls it Freedom with Steve Nichols. The guy hits it on point just about every morning, talking about the freedoms that we enjoy in this country and how they come under a threat by politicians. So that's going to get you fired up every day. I love listening to this guy. He knows what he's talking about. So Freedom with Steve Nichols, you can catch him out on Facebook, Freedom with Steve Nichols, or his website, freedomwithstevenichols.live. Our newest sponsor, and I love this one, Commercial Banking Company, right here in Valdosta. Guys, if you need a bank, whether it's checking accounts, savings accounts, CDs, IRAs, if you need an auto loan, mortgage loan, business loan, give these guys a call. Commercial Banking Company, 229-850-8848. And those are our sponsors. There are more on the way. I promise you, there are more on the way because everybody recognizes the value that this show brings. I'm going to let you in on a little secret. If you're a business owner, you are not going to find a more affordable venue to sponsor or advertise your brand than this one. And we got a lot of loyal listeners and watchers and viewers every week too, as well. So give us a shout. You can find me on Facebook. If you got my email address, hit me up there, LarryGodwin@msn.com, or give me a call on my cell phone. So those are our sponsors. Let me go ahead and bring in our super fans. George Braddock.
What's up, Larry?
Justin Haley, Cole Moore.
What's up?
What's going on?
Got the band back together. How are you? Hey, caller, hold on 1 second. Let me just finish this thought. So, guys, it's been a while since we've had our complete complement of super fans. And so it feels like we've got the band back together tonight. And it's just very timely because we've got another guest caller that just called in. Let me welcome to the show the Saturday morning quarterback himself, Bruce Mims. Bruce, do I have you?
You've got me. How y'all doing tonight?
Doing good, man. Listen, dude, thank you so much for joining us on tonight's program. I'm thrilled that you're called in because you bring an element to the show, Bruce, that I'm really, really proud of, because what we're trying to do is expand our brand and extend our reach. And you help us do that by welcoming in that middle Georgia market. So, Bruce, tell us what you do with the Saturday morning quarterback.
Well, the Saturday morning quarterback actually was a show that Tommy Palmer himself came up with back in 1981 in Baxley, and it was a show that was carried off and on there until the late 80s, and then in 1992 here in Hawkinsville on WCEH, the guy that worked with Tommy for years, they were good friends, they grew up together. Jay Braswell brought the show here, and we put it on. And the early shows were an hour at McDonald's, and it was 4 or 5 of us sitting around talking high school football, the scores and stuff like that. And it evolved so much over the years. And I'm gonna fast forward to where we're at now. What we do now is on a Saturday morning, we go there at 9 o'clock and go to 12 o'clock.
Yeah.
We talk to 16 different high school football coaches. We cover the GHSA. We cover the GISA. We also cover GAPS. If it's high school football, we talk to the coaches.
Wait a minute, man. Wait a minute. Did you just say you talked to 16 coaches all on the same morning?
Yes.
Holy moly, man. You must be exhausted by the time it's over with.
Well, I've got a lot of great guys that have worked with me for years doing this program. And, I'm going to tell you, it's a labor of love. And, we don't do it for the money. We do it because we love it.
Yeah.
And every year I talk about retiring. I'm in my 60s now, and I keep talking about retiring. But when I get on the first episode of the year and I say, gosh, I can't quit now. I'm enjoying this too much. But we talked to 16 coaches. We covered, like I said, all points of the state of Georgia. If you throw a stone and hit it, we've covered them. Valdosta, Lowndes, Valwood, we've covered all your guys down your area. Brooks County, Colquitt County, we covered it all.
So who are some of your more memorable coaches that you've interviewed?
The most memorable guy I've ever interviewed actually was Rudy Rudiger.
Really? Okay.
You
mean
it's
like
weird
Rudy fame from Notre Dame?
Yes, Rudy.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome, dude.
Well, it's amazing. You pick up the phone and you call, and I'll be glad to come on. Just call me. I'll be glad to do an interview with you. It's fun. One of my favorite guys I've done over the years, I'm going to tell you, is Matt Land, who was up at Dalton for years, the Catamounts. What a blast. He said it was better than therapy, better than going to the psychiatrist. He could just spend some time on his lawnmower cutting grass and talking to me. And after that, he didn't need to spend all that money with the psychiatrist. But he was a blast. It's not just like him. I go back to the early days. Robert Davis, when he was at Warner Robins.
Yeah.
I talked with him also when he was up at Northside. Jeff Davis, who used to do the Georgia Scoreboard show way back in the early 90s out of the Atlanta stations. Jeff Davis, he was on my show. I was on his show. We did things back and forth. But those were some great guys. Jeff Herron is a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I mean, God, Jeff has been everywhere and done everything, and he is a blast. It's amazing. It doesn't matter to me if I'm talking to a guy from Beaufort, if I'm talking to the guy from Pelham High School in Pelham, Georgia. These guys all have a unique story, and they all bring something special to the show that I can't get on my own.
Well, you mentioned Jeff Herron. He's got his he's doing a second stint at Camden County, and in one season, he's really done an amazing job of turning that program around, because they came very, very close last year of knocking off some big time favorites, even in the region. How do you think that Camden County is going to fare in his second year back?
I think they're going to be that much better. Okay. Jeff is just a phenomenal coach. He is great. He got his toes wet, as they say. He's kind of figured out what he's got as far as talent wise. He's had a chance to make a little adjustments on his coaching staff. Look for in year number 2 to make a lot more noise. And in year 3, you need to be scared, because he's going to be looking for another state championship.
Gotcha.
He's a great guy. Gosh, I mean, he goes from the largest high school to the smallest high school in the state of Georgia, and then he goes to South Carolina.
That's right.
And is coached up there in Greenville, and had radio himself on the sideline with him.
Gotcha. Okay, is that right?
Jeez. Yes. That was before radio got sick and died about a year ago. But yeah, radio was still walking the sidelines in Greenville up there when Jeff got up there.
Guys, if you are not familiar with what Bruce is talking about, radio, when he says radio, you remember that movie with Cuba Gooding Jr. who played this character Radio?
Wow.
That's who he's talking about. This iconic figure in South Carolina football. You know, I don't know if special needs is a way to describe it, but it was an interesting portrayal that Cuba Gooding Jr. made, and that's the guy that you're talking about that Jeff Herron had on his side.
Sure. Right. Cuba Gooding Jr. is great. He did a phenomenal job with that character. He brought him to life, and the kid was bigger than life. And you know what? If you go around, even in the state of Georgia, you I'm sure that you go to all these little schools, especially the smaller ones. Everybody's got a kid like that. That's there, right. that loves the program so much. You know, I've got a guy here in Hawkinsville that is traveled with me a bunch. Back in the mid-90s when Middle Georgia College reinstated the football program, I used to travel and do their ball games. And our guy who's worked with the program since I was in high school, he came up to me one day and said, "I want to go to Texas with you." I said, "That's fine, but I can't buy you a ticket." He said, "Take me to the bank." So I take him to the bank. He walks in, he comes out with the money and said, "Here, buy me an airline ticket." But everybody's got those guys.
That's
Everybody's
right.
got them.
Yeah, you know, Adam Estes just reminded me that Tifton had Walter Dog.
Yeah.
So, you know, that voice that you just heard echoing in the background there is Cole Moore. He's a former Tift County player, what I call one of our super fans. And so let's use this to transition into talking about, you know, what's going on in the Middle Georgia area. And Bruce, I know that you're based in Hawkinsville, but you're close to that area up there. You probably know a lot more about Middle Georgia football than I do. Justin Haley, another super fan, is also based in that area. So I'm going to throw this question out to you, and I'm going to ask our super fans to chime in and pepper you with a few questions of their own. But
holy cow! No more than that. It's like a quiz.
We're going to put you on the hot seat tonight, man.
I just come from coaching third base in the 7-8-year-old rec ball to this. Jeez, nobody told me it was going to be this stuff.
That's good stuff, man. Good stuff. Hey, you know, when it comes to Middle Georgia football, Bruce, in all seriousness, Warner Robins has been the team to beat the last 5 seasons in a row. They made it to the finals 5 straight years. Is this going to be their 6th year? You know, eventually that streak's going to have to end. Is this the year that it ends, in your opinion?
Does it really have to end?
No, it doesn't, but it usually does.
Well, you know, he's got so much talent there. You know, Robert Davis cultivated that way back in the 70s, and there's so much tradition. Well, just like at Valdosta, at Lowndes, at Colquitt, those programs have just got a feeder program. And, you know, but Warner Robins is doing it the hard way now. If you'll think about Houston County, for years it was Warner Robins and it was Northside. That was it. But now you got veterans, you got West, you got veterans, HOCO, you got Warner Robins, you got Northside, you got Perry down, who is you know, Coach Kevin Smith's got them playing lights out right now. And then you got Westfield, the private school in the county. So they've got a lot, you know, they have to divvy up all the athletes. But Warner Robins, you know what? They can't win it every year, but golly, look for them to make another, you know, 3-4 rounds easy again this year. They've got that many guys still left from, you know, last year's run. That's right.
That's right. So it sounds like you're pretty high. You're still pretty high on Warner Robins. Am I reading that right?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. But you know what? I'm high on Northside too. Northside, after having Kevin Kinsler's last year wasn't a good one. You know, they had some issues going on, but they rebounded and will look much better last year. You can look for those guys to get tougher every year. Heck, you just go right up the road to Jones County.
Yeah. Let me welcome Cole Moore in on this conversation.
Come on in.
Cole is a former Tift County Blue Devil player. You know, he bleeds blue and white up there. Now his wife is a Thomas County Central alum, that whole family. And so he's you know where I'm going with this, Bruce. You know, as the wife goes, the husband goes as well. So now he's a huge TCC fan. So he's got 2 teams now in Region 1-6A that's going to be duking it out with Lee County and Northside Warner Robins. Do you think either of those programs has a chance going up against those big boys?
Yeah, but it's going to take a little time.
Okay.
I think both teams are in the situation that they're doing a little bit of rebuilding, so to speak. Thomas County Central just not been happy the last 3 or 4 years with the coaching situation. They made that change now. Let's see if they're any happier with that. But those guys are going. Give them a couple of years. I think they're all going to be right back in the thick of things. It'll be another SEC South region.
Oh, I'm kind of surprised that you haven't chimed in tonight, man. That these are your stomping grounds. When Bruce says, "Yeah, but it might take some time," I'm gonna go Dr. Phil on you. How does that make you feel, Cole?
Well, I agree, but then disagree. It all depends on how the talent gels on those teams. I think both teams have a lot of talent. It's just putting the pieces together. Tift County. Now, I do agree. I think as far as competing for Tifton, they're a couple of years away. The feeder programs are looking a lot better. I like what Noel Dean is doing. It's just the fact of, can the Tift County administration give Noel Dean that time to get those athletes in there?
Yeah.
And up. That's the key there. I really love what Noel Dean's doing in Tift County. It's just the fact of, I know how impatient that program is, and it's to the fact of, we know we have the athletes, we know we have those guys there, but the inability to win big ball games in that program the last 10, 15, 20 years, you can go on and on, besides a couple great years here and there.
Yeah.
The inconsistency for Tift County is what the community is wanting to stop. We want to be consistent. And now on Thomas County Central's level, everybody knows, if you know high school football, you know about that amazing run in the 90s with Ed Pilcher.
Yeah.
They ran the 90s. 5 state championships in the 90s. That's unbelievable. Justin Rogers, I think, is a great fit. I really do. I think Justin Rogers is a great fit. I do think it's going to take some time.
Okay.
When you are so used to running one style offense, I will tell you, Ashley Henderson left him in a better position than what Ashley took over. Now it's a big jump. 4A to 6A is a huge jump. Yeah. But they do have some talent. They have a good quarterback. They have some good wide receivers. Have a decent defense. It's about gelling and getting to believe in the system. So it's going to be interesting. This region is going to be interesting. You could possibly looking at Thomas County Central and Tifton, possibly looking at a 3rd, 4th seed when they match.
Wow.
It's going to be interesting. That 1-6A region is going to be very interesting moving forward. But I do think both teams have a ceiling. I do think it could be a couple years. When I'm saying competitive, as a former Tift County player, I want to be competitive. When I'm talking about competitive, I'm talking about quarterfinal, semifinal appearances. I don't want to hear that. That's the Blue Devil in me. I don't want to. I want. I was part of the team in 06 that won a region title. So when I'm talking about competitive, I'm talking about week in, week out, year in and year out. We were good for 4 consecutive years when I played. Jay Walls did a great job. Consistency for both of these programs is really what you're looking at. You can look both of these programs in the mirror, and they're looking for consistency. Thomas County Central's hungry. They hadn't had a winning season since 2016.
That's right.
They are hungry, but I just think that 4A to 6A, that's a humongous.
It is.
It's a big move. And then you got Lee County sitting there, Northside, and even Tifton. You got Tift County, who I think will get better this year. I think, They will get better. They will. I think Tiff County's going to be better than they were last year. It's a learning curve for the Blue Devils. I don't think they're there yet. I'm not saying Tiff County's fixing to make this Cinderella story run, which I wish they would, but I just don't see it happen. I agree, but then I disagree. A couple of years, it's just Central. Like it's going to be interesting. And you will know a lot about these teams early on. Tiff County plays Lowndes in a scrimmage. Then Tiff County moves and plays Coffee, an old school rivalry between those two schools. You'll know what they have very early.
That's right.
Thomas County Central, it's it's Murder's Row right off the bat. You talk about K Road, Thomasville, and Bainbridge right back to back to back. So both of these teams will know what they have really early on.
Guys, listen, as an objective observer, TCC's in for a rough year. That's my opinion. They're in for a rough year. Tiff is 1 year ahead of them. They're used to playing 7A football. I think Tiff's is going to fare a little bit better, although not much better. Tiff is going to take it on the chin as well this year, because I'm just not convinced that Noel Dean is the guy. I'm just not. Now, I could be proven wrong, and I hope that I am, because I just don't like to see any coach fail. I really don't. But I just didn't see enough out of that program last year around the edges to see that they were getting better. Now, I could be wrong. They could be getting better this year, but I just don't see them, because that's a strong region that they're joining.
Yeah, I think Tiff County's athletes are better coming in this year.
You think so?
But here's the key with that. I will tell you about Tifton. The only thing that worries me, they're talented. They are. They have some very talented athletes, but they're very, very young. Or, you're going to see a bunch of freshmen playing. You're going to see some sophomores play. So it also depends, as far as Tifton goes, is how fast can they grow? How fast can these kids grow up? Because there is a growing process. If you've ever played high school ball, and you played early on, like myself and some other people, this ain't middle school ball you're playing.
That's exactly. Hey, Cole, your buddy, your fellow Blue Devil, Adam Estes, I just put a comment up on the screen. He says he's feeling pretty confident, guys. He's saying Tiff County is going to finish second in the region in 6A. That's pretty confident.
Well, I hope he's right. It'll definitely take the pressure off of Noel Dean. I hope he's right. Tifton finishes second. But the only problem is that I think it's going to be Northside and Tifton is where I think Tiff County will beat Central.
Yeah.
But I think Northside and Tifton is going to be the determining factor for that number 2 seed.
That's right.
And Northside got stronger remember, they made a pretty good run in the playoffs last year.
They did.
It's going to be interesting. Like I said, I did not watch Northside last year, but paid attention, and they did make a pretty good run. So it's going to be interesting between those two. So it's going to be interesting. This region is going to be interesting. I think everybody can agree that Lee County's the favorite, and they're going to win the region.
Yeah, they will.
They will win the region, and they probably have the toughest schedule in all of 6A. So, but the rest, second and third, I think you're looking at, as far as number 2 seed. I think you got Tifton and Northside fighting that out.
Hey, Bruce, final question for you is, the GHSA just made this monumental decision, in my opinion, a couple of weeks ago, where, the news was kind of lost on us down here because we were going through the big news about Lowndes getting a new head coach and Thomasville losing their coach and all that stuff. But the GHSA made it official a couple of weeks ago, man. In a couple of years, they're going back to 6 classifications, which is a huge decision. What are your thoughts on them making that decision, and how do you think that affects our area schools?
Well, first of all, let me start from my perspective on the whole thing about that is because I understand that I'm in a single A region now, in Hawkinsville. We're a Class A school. We're small. We had to deal with years of 325, 350 kids and playing schools that had 600 kids. There's a big disparity there when you get to that. With the changes they made with the multiplier and all that,
yeah,
it is going to kill some schools like Greater Atlanta Christian. They had trouble competing on the field in football anyway, and now that they got jacked up 3 or 4 3 spots, I think it was, they're not going to be able to compete. Now, as far as the other guys, your Lowndes and your Valdostas, they're going to be fine. Colquitt's going to be fine. And don't worry about the Tiff Blue Devils. They're used to playing with the big boys anyway. They'll be fine. Thomas County Central will get there. I don't think there's going to be a major problem there. I really think the ones that's going to have the biggest problem, guys, are some of the private schools that really are not recruiting athletes per se, like the Great Atlanta Christians and the Pace Academies. They're never going to compete at this higher level. They're going to get whitewashed.
Yeah,
they ain't got a shot. No shot at all. None. None.
That's a pretty strong statement, man.
They're listen, they're not winning titles now. They can't, not in football. Now they're competing in other sports,
right,
but football is a different animal. See what Eagles Landing Christian Academy looks like in a couple of years now that Britt's gone from up there. I mean, Jonathan Guest is gone from up there. See what they look like. See if they're going to come down and play the Chris counties and the bigger boys in the Lee counties and stuff. I don't think they'll come down anymore. The big schools are going to be fine. It's the middle of the road schools that's going to suffer through the whole thing.
Listen, man, as a Lowndes guy, it will not hurt my feelings if I never see Eagles Landing Christian Academy again. Never.
You better never see them.
Listen, let me say this about the hiring the coaches and stuff.
Yeah,
I personally think Justin Rogers may be one of the best hires in the state.
Wow,
I agree.
He came from Colquitt. They didn't want him there, and God bless them if they don't want him. That's fine. Listen, I want to see Thomas County Central win. I've watched that program over the years. I've interviewed Pilcher in the early days on a few occasions. I want to see that program get back, and I think they got the right guy to get them back in the right position again.
I hear you, man.
Yeah, and he's a guy that wants to be at Thomas County Central.
Absolutely does.
He loves it. Like a lot of people were, saying, well, anybody could have won at Colquitt. Well, look at what he done at Jones County. He completely turned Jones County around. So
listen,
here's
the problem with Justin Rogers at Colquitt. Justin Rogers, unfortunately, was the guy that followed Rush Probst.
Well,
that was the only problem with Justin Rogers. Half their fan base did not want Rush gone, and they did not want Justin Rogers there.
Well, here's some hard facts, LG. Here's some hard facts. Justin Rogers had some unfortunate events happen. If his quarterback doesn't go down a couple of years ago, they're in the state championship game.
I wouldn't go that far, but I know the point that you're trying to make. Yes.
Yeah,
he lost his starting quarterback in their playoff run, and that's a huge deal when it comes to high school ball.
Listen, in 2014, we made an adjustment on defense. That made a difference. Well, actually, we made it in 2013 in Hawkinsville that led to a state championship. We moved our quarterback. He still continued to play quarterback, but he also started playing linebacker for us. Welcome to Class A. And that one move right there made a difference, and we were able to play in the semifinals in 13, win the championship in 2014. One kid gone in these programs, even in the big schools, sometimes it's all the difference in the world of making a deep run and making a quick exit to the house.
That's right. Hey, Bruce Mims, thank you so much for calling in tonight, man. I wish we had more time, but we're only a 1 hour long program. Let's have you back to the program on a future day because you're a fantastic caller.
Call me anytime you want to.
Thank you so much, man.
All right, Larry.
See you, buddy.
Good night, guys. Bye.
Good night.
See you.
Very knowledgeable guy. I have never heard my super fan panel as quiet. I think I even heard birds chirping in the background.
I'm being nice because somebody from Middle Georgia got on here and at least they know Middle Georgia people, we know more than South Georgia people. So.
Oh my gosh!
So-
listen. I got a message for Cole Moore and Justin Haley.
Lounge
George
sucks.
Raddick is off the hook when it comes to this comment.
well,
Okay,
the show ain't over, but go ahead. Oh, okay. That's comment. Okay.
listen.
it's
Wilbur
got
Pelfrey, a Lounge fan, says
It's got
this to
something
you
do with
guys.
Lounge.
He said, Wilbur Pelfrey says this to you guys. He says, you better not be bashing our Vikings tonight again from your super fans because they made Stickman's wife, Kathy, mad as wet setting hen, according to Stick.
Here's the thing.
I heard through the grapevine that I better not show my butt up inbound Austin no more.
Listen, you two have been unofficially banned from Lowndes County.
And
we said nothing about Lowndes High School. That's the funny part. Just killing you. Now we're gonna kill your coach because we're being honest.
Oh my gosh.
I said,
we're not going to rehash last week's show, and I don't want you guys dogging out Zach Grage against, because personally I think he's going to be a great coach. He's going to be a good fit for Lowndes. But that was just a message from the general thought when it comes to the Lowndes community that you guys they didn't appreciate what y'all said.
Hey, listen, I want every Lowndes fan that loved Jamie DuBose 3 weeks ago to get up, go walk in the bathroom, wherever, and look dead in the mirror, because that's what me and Cole Moore are.
Oh my God. You guys are something. Hey, let's talk about, while we're talking about Justin Rogers, we're talking about Thomas County Central, and Justin Rogers is making a big splash already. A lot of coaches do this when they come in. They like to make a splash that to fire up their fan base, and sometimes they do this with helmet redesign or a tweak to the uniform, maybe a new jersey color, that kind of stuff. And Justin Rogers is no different. Cole, you guys are excited about these new helmets. Let me put them on screen.
Yeah, boy.
Check out that those two helmet designs.
I guess pretty.
Cole, are these official? TCC coming out with these?
Yeah.
Man, those are nice.
Those are nice.
I like them.
Nice stuff, man. I'm not even going to ask the cost of bringing out two helmets, man.
I don't know that.
What's they win the region and helmet design?
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, I like the part. I like in the back where it says the county. On the very back, they got it's at the very back of the helmet. It says the county. That's pretty cool. Throwing shade at Thomasville, so that's pretty cool.
That is cool, man.
If any Thomasville fans are watching, then there.
Yeah, check that out. That I just put up on the screen. Y'all just had a rose parade and celebrating the coach and his family down Main Street. Man, you guys are bought in as a community, aren't you, Cole?
Yeah, man, you got to buy in, man. That's the first step, man. You got to buy in.
Cole, is it hot in that yellow jacket suit?
That wasn't me.
Now that was funny, George.
I thought that was you, George.
No, I'd be a Gators fan. I'm a Gators fan.
Hey man, is that a new Buzzmobile golf cart?
I don't know. It looks pretty new.
That's nice.
It's fancy. It's electric. They're all futuristic.
Going green.
Doesn't run on gas. Yeah. Doesn't even run on gas.
Hey, so it's obvious that TCC is they're very excited about their football program heading the right. We'll ask them how they feel come November. See if they're still excited.
The honeymoon stage, just like Lowndes.
Yeah, absolutely. The honeymoon
stage. Oh, we got Zach Grage. Woo! Yeah, we're gonna win a state every year. Yeah.
Cole, you better calm down about Zach Grage. I'm telling you.
Look,
they give you your address and tell them
it's the honeymoon. What I'm getting at is the honeymoon stage. Everybody that has a new coach is excited. They're like, and then all the boosters get to meet the new coach and woo. Go Zach Grage. I mean, Justin Rogers. Yeah.
Well, Zach Grage is going to do some good things at Lowndes. I'm predicting that. Let's talk about the spring game. The spring games that are coming up. It's spring game season, right? Somebody asked about the Lowndes spring game. I think it was Chase Garnto or no. Adam Estes was talking about this. What's the Lowndes spring game? Adam, you should know, man. Lowndes and Tift County are going to tussle in the spring game. And this is kind of unique, fellas. I don't know if I've ever seen this before, but Lowndes and Tift County are going to play each other in both the spring game and the preseason scrimmage in August. Have you guys ever seen that done before?
Well, I just got news for you. If you let Tift County beat you twice,
oh Lord,
man, the wheels may start to fall off before week 1 for Zach Graves.
Listen, man. Even when Tift County does lose both games, I'm not going to hold it against them because they're scrimmages, dude. Especially the spring. I don't put. Yeah, you know by now. You know enough football to know that spring is basically for the super young guys. You play everybody on the roster. Lowndes, they're going to put 150 kids on the field.
Kind of like ELCA.
Well, that was a spring scrimmage. I mean, that was a fall scrimmage, right? So, but we're talking about especially the spring. You're going to put 150 kids on the field, and some of them have never ever seen the field. Spring scrimmages, I have put no stock in because you're just trying to evaluate kids on film. That's all you're trying to do.
I get you. I understand. But you're the one that was like, man, our feeder programs, man, they're really good.
They are good. They are good. But we're talking about a varsity spring scrimmage. So anyway.
It's this is spring scrimmages, and as fans, man, it's exciting time because we get our fix, right? You can go to a football game.
Absolutely.
You get your fix for a little bit. Now, once you get past that, now you're ready for, man, you can't wait till fall.
That's right. And some teams don't even have a spring game scheduled. They might have a spring intra-squad scrimmage. I think Valdosta has got this. I see Sam Horn comment, and he's a big Cats fan. Sam, you can comment if you want. I think Valdosta has a scrimmage and like an intra-squad scrimmage at the end of their spring practice season. I think that's right. Sam, correct me if I'm wrong. But, because they get it, man. Your purpose is not to go out and plan to, watch film on your opponent. You're just trying to get kids on film to see if they move in the right direction, pull when they're supposed to, work on timing, all that stuff, right? So anyway, any fan that puts any stock, especially in a spring scrimmage, I mean, you're just too far out there.
What was it, LG? Did y'all play Warner Robins in a spring scrimmage?
We did. Yeah.
And I remember you coming back and being like, man, they don't look good at all. And then they end up winning the state championship.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So that goes, that goes to show what Marquise Westbrook did. Because, especially in the first quarter to half when he had his projected starters in, they did look bad. They really did. But what he was able to do, because he got those kids on film, I mean, he was able to do an amazing coaching job that year, and it started right there in that spring game because they got those kids on film.
Yeah, Warner Robins is very lucky to have him, and they better hope they can keep him long enough because I think you're going to see him in the college ranks very soon.
It would not surprise me. A lot of these up-and-coming young coaches, it would not surprise me to see them at the college level. No, Kenneth Hurst says TCC is taking on Perry in their spring game this year.
Yes, they are. That come out today, I believe. So it's official. They and I can't remember the date. I think it's May 14th.
Where's it going to be at, Cole?
I think it's in Perry.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure it is.
Now, speaking of TCC, are there any facilities upgrades coming along for the Yellow Jackets?
I do know the work on as far as the indoor practice facility. That's the big thing right
they're
now.
getting one?
Yeah.
Like a full size or just one of these half size deals or full size?
120 yards, yeah.
Wow, that's going to be awesome, dude.
Yeah, and that's why I think you'll start to see some of those athletes start to flip back to the county for Thomas County Central.
Gotcha.
And plus, I mean, they had a better coach before Zach Grage left. Thomas County Central's new coach was better than Zach Grage, but we're not going to get into that. And now Thomasville is looking for a coach.
Yeah, I fully expected to see them name a coach by the middle part of this week. Do you think that's going to happen or no?
I don't know. I hear just rumors. I don't know anything factual, but rumors are that they were going to hire this sometime this week. But yeah, I hadn't heard anything. Usually in these coaching searches, you start.
All right, so we got something breaking here. Jeremiah Humbert. I'm assuming that Jeremiah is a Thomasville fan. I don't know if this is true, but he says that yes, a coach will be named tomorrow.
Well, I hear it's from the inside. I hear they're going to try to hire somebody within, and so we'll see how that works for the Bulldogs.
Yeah. So the odds-on favorite at the end of last week was, I believe, the offensive coordinator.
Sure.
When that was there when Zach Grage was there. Was that Coach DeLay? Is that his name?
Yeah, I can't. Yes, yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah, Kenneth Hurst says tonight at 6 p.m. from the board meeting tonight. I guess they said from the board meeting tonight. I guess what he means is they announced that tomorrow they're going to name their coach.
Yeah, there was we went to the Rose Parade and there was a buzz Friday night when Justin.
Did you use that word on purpose? There was a buzz there.
You see what I did there, right?
I saw that. You slipped that little TCC reference in there.
There was a buzz going around about Justin Rogers, and heard some Thomasville fans saying, hopefully Thomas County Central makes a big hire, splash hire. Hopefully, I overheard some Thomasville fans say, hopefully we can do the same now that Zach Grage has moved on. So. Yeah. You're gonna. Here's the issue. I mean, you're gonna. Thomasville and Thomas County Central both pay well, so you can get an elite coach.
Yeah.
Now Central becomes a little bit, it's a little bit better job. Why now is because they're in 6A. So we'll see what Thomasville does. I anticipate that they will hire within. I did hear they were taking applications, but everything I'm hearing is they're going to hire within.
Justin Haley, you are usually a guy with an ear to the ground, man. What do your sources say about this Thomasville coach?
Yeah, Thomasville, all the connections I have right there. I actually, if you give me a minute, I'm trying to go through some messages I had not too long ago, and I don't remember who I was talking to totally. So if I can find them here, I'll chime back in on that one.
Okay, we'll come back to you. Let me get George Braddock to chime in here. George, I'm going to put something up on the screen and get you to comment on it. We were talking about the border war that's nice. That's going to happen over on the coast. I mean, this is an impressive lineup. We're starting to see more of these things happen around the state. We saw it, obviously for years with the Corky Classic. We saw it Statesboro with Georgia Southern University, getting them involved. This year, Lowndes and Colquitt are going to host a couple of Florida teams. The coastal teams over there in Glen Academy and Brunswick are going to host like a 3-day event that's going to involve several teams. Starting on September 8th, running through summer 10th. I love the way they've set this thing up. George, one team that's missing from this are the Ware County Gators. I just assumed that Ware County was going to be a part of this.
I haven't really heard any talk about it with regard to us being involved in it.
I know what happened.
Or Blackshear, Pierce County, another one would be a thought. But neither program I've heard anything about them this year. Coffee came over, of course, you see.
Yeah.
Down there playing St. Augustine. And I like the Fitzgerald-Madison County matchup, even though
that's
Madison
nice.
County's going to be with their first year in a new coaching system. But Bowles historically has been a tough program. So
That's
I don't know how Brunswick's going to do with being in the first year without Pender. But is it Garrett Grady who is taking over there?
That's exactly right. He took over the Brunswick program.
I know Garrett Grady is I know him actually. I taught with him one year, my one and only year of teaching. He's a great guy. He's well liked by his peers, and I think he does a good job of recruiting his as far as within his school talent to get out there and play. At Brunswick in the past, that's been a problem. That in Glenn County, excuse me, taking taking the pole position over there in terms of football. So, but I love these border wars. I missed the one in Valdosta where we did when Lowndes and Ware played.
That's right.
And Plant. I just love those kind of things. I think they're great. I think they're healthy. I think they're good money generators. In this day and age of being able to stream, I think you can even add to those revenue streams more. And, it's just new and different. And with our storied Georgia-Florida rivalry, it just plays right into it.
Guys, it's going to be interesting to see how Lowndes and Colquitt gets along, because Lowndes and Colquitt have partnered this year and supposedly next year as well. This year, Colquitt and Lowndes are going to play at Martin Stadium, taking on two pretty good Florida programs, South Florida programs. And next year, we're going to go over to Mac Tharp Stadium over in Moultrie and do the same thing with a couple of different programs coming in. But I don't know if these two fan bases can get along for this partnership to last.
They can't.
Hey, Larry,
What are your thoughts on that?
They can't.
Larry,
There's no
Can
way.
I ask you a quick question on that?
Yeah, man.
Is the Concrete Palace under renovation, and will the visitor side be closed this year so that you'll share one side of the stadium? Is that correct?
No, that's not correct. Now, the
Okay.
visitor side is under renovation, but that's going to be ready for the season. The only time we're going to close it is during the spring game. So the Tiff
That would
County
be
fans will sit over there on the home side during the spring game.
Gotcha. Okay.
Right.
I just had a mental picture of y'all sharing the same sideline even.
Yeah, so now Colquitt County will play during the early game, the 5:00 game for our partnership, right? They'll be taking on Deerfield Beach, and they will be the home team.
Okay.
So that means that we're not including those two games as part of our season ticket package. It's going to be basically a general admission. So yes, we're going to see a lot of Colquitt County fans choose to use the home side because their team's going to be on the home side.
For sure.
Oh boy.
So that's what I mean by fans from these two fan bases. Can they get along?
That's a no.
I
mean, I can answer that quick.
I hope they do. I'm excited about the partnership, but people are going to have to cooperate to make this thing work.
Yeah,
Civil.
Lowndes and Colquitt, that's not, they don't get along. And Rush, they didn't get along, and then Rush made it even, when Lowndes decided to cheat.
Hold up.
That's a penalty box right there.
I'm just saying that's what Rush did.
I think that deserves a penalty box.
Trying to get in it.
Cole just got put in the penalty box, man. Listen, he can't be throwing out a comment like that and not get penalized for it.
That was a drive-by right there.
That was a drive-by. That was more than a drive-by. That was a drive up to my front door. I'm sitting on the front porch, getting out with like a machine gun, Uzi type of deal with his posse, shooting up my house, standing in front of it, and then getting back in the car and driving off.
I will say this.
Are you done?
I don't think
I'm done, Cole. You can't be saying stuff like that, man.
What I was trying to get
If you weren't hated by Lowndes fans, you are now.
Rush said y'all cheated, and you know how much Colquitt loved Rush, so they went with him, and then that just intensed that rivalry up even more. So I can only imagine Lowndes fans and Colquitt fans on the same side. That's going to be interesting. Here you go. Chase Garto, you got him fired up. He says, wait a minute. Didn't Colquitt do this? And it's like, oh, Lord. Guys, we're not going to rehash this binocular game. That's in the past. Lowndes didn't do what they accused us to do. We're not going to go down that road. But, Cole, you had to drive. Man, oh, my. I am fueling the fire.
You got me all fired up.
Colquitt and Lowndes, I want to see y'all go viral. Do something. Make this rival. Make people believe South Georgia. Welcome them to South Georgia football.
Hey, let me ask you something about, as long as we're talking about Rush, I've heard it from other people. I've heard it from fans.
Here we go.
I've heard it from other show hosts that talks about, Region 17A is now the Rush region because now you got 3 programs, right? You got Valdosta with a Shelton Felton, who we used to be a Rush Probst assistant. You got Lowndes with Zach Gray, who used to be a Rush assistant. You got Colquitt with Sean Calhoun, used to be a Rush assistant. And some people are saying, hey, this is the Rush region now. I think I'm going to get your take on this, guys, but I think it is unfair to these guys who are their own men, all 3 of them, and they're going to put their stamp of approval on these programs. Here's the way I see it. I've worked for a lot of companies in my career, and I've had a lot of managers that have managed me over the years. And so when I leave and go and do my own thing, does that mean that I'm a disciple of my manager? No. It could mean that I just want to be on my own guy. I may have completely disagreed with the way my manager ran things, right? And so when fans and other show hosts start to talk about the Rush region, I think it is totally unfair to these men that are trying to establish programs of their own. What say you?
Well, Larry, I'll say something real quick. I mean, all of these guys have had post-Rush, program experience. I can think of one of them who might have shown a little of Rush DNA. I'm not going to get into hating, but there was an incident. It's public knowledge, but by far and large, I think they've kind of already established their own identity and their own footprint, and I don't think it's a bad one.
That's right.
As far as Felton, I was talking to I gave blood yesterday. The girl that does my blood draws usually get the same one from Valdosta as a son playing. And they are tickled about Felton. They said that he foments so much, enthusiasm. They're working out prior to school right now and just leading up to the spring. So, look, I'm happy for him. If he learned from that issue, or maybe he was just kind of following what the orders were, I don't know. But I think it's unfair to kind of paint him with Rush's negative attributes at this point.
Absolutely. So when you say Rush out there, the good and the bad comes with that name. And I'm telling you, I don't know about the Valdosta program or the Colquitt program, but I can tell you from the Lowndes perspective, if that name Rush starts to stick to Zach Grage and there's any hint of a Rush influence on that program, he will lose the Lowndes fan base just like that.
Well, get ready.
Yeah, I'm just telling you.
They hired Rush for the super.
What's that?
They hired Rush for the superintendent at Lowndes.
I didn't understand your question. What now?
Is Rush going to be the super over there?
No, he's not.
Is he the successor to?
All I'm going to say is I've watched Zach Grage over the last couple of years, and I don't think I've ever seen a coach look identical to Rush, his antics that I have when Zach Grage in Thomasville. When you see, and Justin, you can vouch for this, remember, LG, how Rush would walk the sideline and he'd always be in the ear of the refs and just constant over and over and over. I'm telling you, that is Zach Grage. 110%. He's in the refs' ears to the point that it's annoying.
Yeah.
Like, we're going to stop the game for this. We're going to stop the game for this.
Yeah. Now, Abby Pearson makes an interesting point. She says, I know it's not a popular feeling, but being compared to Rush isn't a bad thing. He's a dang good coach. He is a good coach, but there's a lot of stuff that comes with Rush when you hear his name.
Yeah.
And quite frankly, he didn't get along with the Lowndes program. And I'm telling you, over the years, I'm telling you guys from practical experience, if Rush gets tagged into the Lowndes program, Zach Grage is going to have a problem.
Well, he better not do some of the things he did at Thomasville. That's all I'm going to say. And he may try to do things differently, but if I'm going to say it, I'm going to see some Lowndes games, and I'm going to watch and see if he does those things that, only thing, and I'm going to leave it at that. As far as these coaches, these three coaches, these are three very, very talented coaches. Sean Calhoun, he did a great job at Carrollton. We all know about what he did. Shelton Felton is going to have that Valdosta program back, and I'm going to be the one to say it. He will have the Wildcats back.
Wow.
I 100% believe that he will be the better of the three. I think he will turn it around.
Yeah. Hey guys, let me tell you, Wilbur Pelfrey says, LG, you're going to lose your Lowndes viewers if these guys keep talking bad about the Lowndes program, that kind of stuff. Wilbur, listen, the Tuesday night program was purposely set up to talk about football outside of Lowndes. So when I invite these callers or the super fans of this panel, whether it's Justin or Cole or George, listen, I don't censor anybody. They can talk and say whatever they want. And if they say something negative about Lowndes, you've seen me do it. You've heard me do it. I'm going to defend the program if I disagree with them. Right. Mm-hmm. And so, guys, the Tuesday night program, it's called the PreGame Blitz. It's not the LowndeSblitz.com. It's the PreGame Blitz. And so we can all talk about anything they want to talk about. And so Chris Pace has a question. He says, what if Lowndes wins a championship under Grage? Then what?
Then I'll donate $100,000 to Lowndes County High School.
Chris Pace. If Grage wins a championship for Lowndes, I will celebrate that. I'm not sure. I don't understand your question. Are you implying that what if Grage wins a championship?
I think it's like
with Rush hanging around. Is that what you're implying?
I think it's one of those questions to where, like, to me and Justin, it's like,
oh, okay, that was a knock at you guys. Okay,
but here's the thing: the Lowndes program is set up to be successful. Yeah. They have great athletes. They have great facilities. They have top tier stuff. So it wouldn't shock me, but I don't think he can.
Yeah.
And it's not to knock on Zach Grage, but he could not get it done in AA with 120, 130 kids coming out in Thomasville.
Cole, I think that comment that you just made is unfair. He couldn't get it done in Thomasville. He was getting it done in Thomasville. He resurrected that program to the detriment of TCC. And came within a feather of winning a state title game.
21-7? That's a feather?
He did beat that same team earlier in the year, did he not?
But that was strategic.
Yeah.
Come on, guys.
I said
this argument that Tucker Pruitt lost the game on purpose during the season to get a better bracket. Come on, that's what you're saying.
Okay.
If you don't think that doesn't happen, that happens way more than you think. Here's how much stuff happens in high school football you don't know about. I went to a single A football game during halftime. Me and the head coach went to the truck and drank a beer while the field while the team was in the field losing so bad.
Well, I will say this: Lowndes should be in at least the quarterfinals every year. That program has been set up by the ones that came forward. When you talk about Joe Wilson, right? You start talking about Randy McPherson. He done a phenomenal job.
Yeah.
The brand is there for Lowndes. I don't want Lowndes fans thinking I hate their program, because I don't. I respect what Lowndes football is. They are a powerhouse in the state. They are a top 5 job in the state. But I think I said it a couple weeks ago, I'm not going to give a 16-year-old a Ferrari and trust him to drive it.
Yeah.
Until Zach Grage shows me that he can coach with the big boys, then it'll be different.
Cole, listen, Zach Grage, I'm going to say this as gently to you as possible. Zach Grage doesn't owe any of us anything.
Sure.
But I will say this. He will win at Lowndes, given all the reasons that you just stated.
Sure.
And I'll tie this comment, this next comment, into Chris Pace's question. He says, yes, exactly, under the rush mentality, so to speak. What if he wins it with Lowndes' talent and his style? Chris Pace, listen, if Zach Grage wins a state championship at Lowndes, he's going to do it under the Zach Grage style.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
I agree.
So he's not going to do it the rush way. It's the Zach Grage way. The guy, I've talked to him. The guy is his own man.
Yeah, I mean, you're entering the grade show. I mean,
That's right.
Lowndes fans, I have spoken to Zach on a couple occasions. You're not going to run him over, number one. He's very confident in what he brings to the table. He's very excited. He's very energetic, and he's going to do it his way. And, how Lowndes did it before, he doesn't want to hear that. He's going to do it his way.
That's right.
If he gets it done, it would not shock me. I'm not going to be like Justin. I'm not going to say I'm going to give $100,000 to the Lowndes football program because I'm not.
I think I hear, that penalty box did Cole some good. I think I hear Cole coming back to the side of right.
Huh? Wait.
Let me ask it. Let me ask this serious question. Let me ask this question to LG.
Yeah.
Do you have the talent and the players, being honest, to run the same system that Collins Hill ran last year offensively, where Sam Horn went through 3-4 progressions, wide open? Do you have the receivers and the quarterback that can do that system?
The receivers, yes. The quarterback, question mark.
We'll see.
Maybe not this year.
That's what it's going to take to win 7-8 from now on. There's no more ground and pound. There's no.
Well,
you've got
exactly. Now, the reason why I say question mark this year is because we just lost an all-world quarterback. Not the best. I think the second best quarterback. Yeah, I'm going to say it. I think Michael Barrett was a better quarterback at Lowndes.
Boy, was he? Yeah.
Yeah, but Ja'Cory Brown, all-world quarterback. Everybody agrees with that. So we're having to replace a lot, and so the guys that's going to be replacing him is going to require some time. So I don't know if they've got the ability to lead the team to a state title this year, but all those guys are super young. So it would not surprise me if one of these quarterbacks steps out and next year they're ready to go, whether it's a Marvis Parrish, Tate Sermons, Brooks, but all these guys are talented and are capable.
Well, can I make a comment, LG?
Yeah.
The thing when, I was thankful that LG let me and my wife grace the home side of Martin Stadium.
Don't do it, man.
That was a
Cole.
cold night.
You were just making some progress. Don't do it, dude. I'm just telling you.
Before you put me in the penalty box again. All right, so we were graced. So everybody knows what Ja'Cory Brown brought to the table. The one question mark, and it's got to be quarterback. Ja'Cory couldn't. The ability to be a playmaker was out.
Yeah, correct. You talking about his injury?
His injury kept him from running.
He could barely walk. I was surprised he was on the field.
In Lowndes, Jamie DeBose, and it spoke a lot about your quarterback situation last year. He trusted that a Ja'Cory not running was their best option to win, instead of putting in another guy to help him. Ja'Cory, I felt bad for the kid because he put his heart out there for 4 quarters, and I thought he played well as far as his passing game. He had that drop pass right, beginning of the game. That's 7 points all day.
Listen, Cole, I'm going to say this one time and one time only, and we're going to say it on video so everybody can go back and watch it. That was the biggest coaching mistake I think Jamie DuBose has ever made in his career. Ja'Cory Brown could barely walk on that ankle, on that leg.
I
Yeah,
mean, but I think you're gonna look at it, and I'm not saying this in any kind of way possible, but I think that's more on the player than the coach on that, saying that he wants to play. Because my senior year,
Yeah.
I'll say this: it's not like Ja'Cory, but my senior year, I came down with my disease that I've got, which ultimately like ended my baseball career at the end of my
Sure.
senior season,
Yeah.
but nobody was going to take me off the field. Like I mean, even though I may not have been the best anymore. I did so much for Westfield as far as pitching the 2 years prior that they allowed me, even though it may have hurt the team overall to an extent. But I mean, the what you've done up to that point, they allowed me to keep playing, even though because I think that was kind of the same aspect. I think you've done so much for that program, and you're a senior. Even though that may not be your best option, I mean, how are you gonna? It's hard to sit a kid in that situation.
yeah,
It is. But after the first couple of series, when it was obvious that the kid couldn't go, that was the time to make the move. The experiment failed. That was the time to make the move.
Yeah, I thought it would have done.
Yeah, I agree with you.
I thought it would have helped Lowndes moving forward because honestly, they wasn't going to beat Collins Hill.
Yeah.
Moving forward to get a quarterback game reps in a in a playoff environment about whether it be Tate or whoever.
Yeah, I agree with you guys. And Abby Pearson, Chase Garnter, they're all talking about, Ja'Cory begged to stay on the field. Of course he did. He was a competitor. Competitors always want ball. They always want, but sometimes you got to, as a coach, you got to do what's best for the team. And the kid could barely walk. You saw him.
Well, what if, and this is just me thinking, what if Ja'Cory would have got seriously hurt? And he has all this potential down the road. I mean, there's got to be a time we want to win high school football games. We want to win playoff games. But if we got kids, we have to think about the kid's future as well. Ja'Cory's got a bright future in him. I hope he does well at Miami. It was just one of those things I could not believe. I think me and you talked about it in private. I just could not believe.
That's right.
I was thinking they would keep him on the field long enough to break that record and then pull him. And because I seen in warm-ups, dude couldn't hardly put no pressure on his foot.
I know, man. So listen, I think I made my feelings known. I'm not. I don't mind doing it.
Again.
I don't. It doesn't mind. It doesn't matter to me who disagrees with me.
One more time for the people in the back.
Cole. Here's my quick. Cole, could you see his injury as well as I could since I got on the sidelines and Larry made you sit up there in the co-hard seat?
Oh my God!
Yeah, Larry made me and my pregnant wife sit in that cold hard seat
on the 50-yard line.
Oh, we did have 50-yard line seats.
And your pregnant wife. Why in the world would you want her to stand up any more than she had to?
There you go.
Well, I got a chair.
I figured all that money y'all had at Lounge, we could have got a sideline seat. She could have got a chair.
But Cole, listen. Justin, listen. You don't have to worry about coming to Lounge this year.
God.
I think one phone call. I think I've got enough power on Lounge. One phone call can change it.
That might be changing this year, buddy.
I checked yesterday. I'm still good, so something changed.
Yeah, Chase Garnto, Wilbur Pelfrey is right. I believe it was Norcross was the game before the Collins Hill game. That was Ja'Cory got hurt in that game. Tate Sermons came in, did a fantastic job. Ja'Cory gets wrapped up, comes in, hobbles around, throws that last second touchdown to one of our receivers in the corner, basically game winning score. So the kid was a competitor. He still is. Fire in his belly, legit competitor. But that game against Collins Hill after the first couple of series, when Chris Thomas missed that slant over the middle that probably would have scored. Who knows what happens after that? I still think Lowndes loses that game. But after that series, when it was obvious that he couldn't stand up on that leg, it was time to bring in someone else. And Jamie DuBose blew it. In my opinion, he did.
Ooh, man.
Yeah, see, this is what I'm talking about. You can't hate on me and Cole for the Zach comments.
And this joker, this is the same guy who endorsed Jamie DuBose, and then bam.
Listen,
Yeah, dropped him on his head.
I'm still a huge Jamie DuBose fan. I still wish he was here, but he's not, and he messed up in that one game.
Well,
Hey, I agree. I mean, but
Yeah,
I've never seen
I
a
will
backup
too.
quarterback.
I'm
So.
sitting there like, what? Why is Tate not in? I was just like, I couldn't believe it.
I mean, all it
exactly.
was a glorified running option system anyway. He could have put a running back there.
All right, so I'm about to give you guys a little bit more ammunition. So Lowndes has brought in another assistant coach by the name of Sean Sutton, and he will be the Lowndes offensive coordinator.
Man, y'all just still Valdosta assistants and Tiff County former coaches. I mean, Lord.
Listen, man, there ain't no stealing anybody. These coaches move around from program to program. You see all their bios.
We're gonna start
they've got
calling
5
y'all
or
the
6
Valdosta
programs
Blue
under their belt. So anyway, it is going to be interesting. You know, when a new coach comes on board, what is one of the first things that he does? He brings in guys that he's familiar with, right? We saw it at Byron Slack when he went to Cook County. Who did he bring in as offense coordinator? A guy named Jackson Dean that he coached with. So these guys do it all the time. The coaching world is a very, very small circle, and they have their guys that they love coaching with. And so when a new coach comes in, it's obvious they bring in their guys.
I think the 2 biggest hires were made by 2 different coaches. Jamie DuBose gets credit. Ashley Anders is a big hire, in my opinion, still.
Yeah.
And then Sean Sutton can coach. I don't care what nobody says. So I think Zach Grace is going to rely a lot on those 2 guys. Ashley Anders, you know, he's coached 7A football. He's had success. He's had great defenses, coached some really good talent. I think Lowndes is going to really, really like him. So I think those are 2 big hires, and hats off to Lowndes, for Jamie DuBose and Zach Graves also for going to go get Sutton. I think that's a big hire.
That's a huge hire, man. Ashley Anders is going to be allowed to run the 4-man front, which makes a lot of fans happy. A lot of Lowndes fans happy. So Anders basically has complete control of the defense. So I think the future is very bright for
all you got to do.
Lowndes.
Listen, Lowndes fans. If you've watched Tiff County's defense, you've watched Tiff County's defense over the last couple of years and watched those fast defensive ends, and you watch Tyree West and those linebackers fly all over the field, that's what you're going to get. If you're tired of that 3-3-5,
Lowndes did not run a 3-3-5. We ran a 3-4.
Hey, look, the 3-3-5 for Breezier runs in Lee County is still one of the best there is in the state. So you can't knock on the 3-3-5 too much.
And I think Jeff Herron likes to run a 3-3 stack as well. So, you know, there are some programs that can run it.
Ask Jeff Herron how that worked against Big Blue.
Well, I'm gonna throw one comment in real quick, which ain't it is negative, but anyway, it's always negative. No, my thing with Lowndes here's where I think Cochran County messed up if they kept Rogers. I think Lowndes is the same situation, and Valdosta at least has a guy that is familiar with with this offensive style, and that's the reason why I brought up Collins Hill last year. If that's the reason why I asked you the question, did you have the players? And then the follow-up question is, do you have the coaches that know how to run that offense? And I don't think you do, and that's where like a Justin Rogers at Colquitt, I think it was just going to take a couple more years. The offensive system is a little more complicated with the air raid style, and I think if you get someone like that at Lowndes, you'll win a state championship. But you saw last year, your primary run, one option read down the field, it just doesn't pan out in 7A too much, and that's what you're going to get again, like offensive scheme wise.
Well, yeah, Lowndes has that. I mean, Lowndes has the athletes. I think this year, depending on what your quarterback is, now if your quarterback struggles, I think you're gonna rely a lot on that Ashley Anders defense. I think y'all are. Correct me if I'm wrong. Ain't y'all bringing a good bit back off that defense?
We are. It's going to be a little bit more mature defense. Last year we had a lot of sophomores, a lot of juniors. Most of them are coming back. What's going to be a little bit behind is the offense this year because I think we only got 2 guys coming back. on the offensive line.
Yeah.
That might be it.
But if
We got a
Ashley
running
gets-
back coming back as well in Smoke, but he wasn't a starter last year.
when you got to think about it, even with Tiff's offenses as bad as they were in recent years, think about Ashley's stint in Tifton as a whole. Remember, those were some of the best defenses rank-wise in the state. You really, really had to work your butt off to score on that Tiff County defense. That's what you're going to see. If those kids gel in and believe in Ashley, you may have a really good year, but you may have to rely on that defense a little bit more.
Yeah. So it's going to be fun. Lowndes is going to have to go through a transition because Grade's got. I know what you guys are going to say. You accuse him of running the single wing and all that stuff, but he's got his system that he's going to implement as time goes on. We're not going to see much of a change during the spring because the guy just got hired.
Could you imagine, LG? Just think this for a second. Y'all come out week 1 and y'all have a wing T formation.
Oh, Lord. Oh, look. Now there are some Lowndes guys, the old school Lowndes guys, that would love that, but I ain't one of them.
You're gonna come out in a power I formation.
Power I formation.
Listen, I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind going multiple, right? Whether it's power I, a spread, you got different personnel packages for different situations. So you got to do some of those things at certain points of the game. But as a base system, we ain't gonna be a power I or a wing T team.
Yeah, but your offensive line is going to learn the same blocking schemes, though. That's the thing.
Well, a lot of blocking schemes nowadays are based off of, zone blocking or wing T pulls and traps, things like that. So a lot of that stuff can carry. You saw in Auburn, a lot of these teams, even a Coffee County, they base Mike Coe bases his offense off the Gus Malzahn Auburn spread, and that is basically a wing T blocking team type of spread system, right?
I mean, it is, but like I was just talking about those. Like you think those Collins Hill offensive line that are going to college know how to do those blocking schemes as well as they know how to pass block. It's that's the difference. I hate to harp on that, but just go back years past. Everybody that's won 7A the last several years is just.
Right.
Primary is offensive blocking, and primary is offensive slinging the ball all over the field, and that's just that's just it. I mean, you look at Marietta for Christ's sakes that year. I mean, it was now. Granted, you got a Reek Gilbert and everybody else. That Ricky White kid who's at, I think he's at Tennessee still, I believe. Well, anyway, but you just got D1 receivers, and you're just slinging it up to them, and that's just it's just what 7A is. Right now, that's just it.
Well, Georgia's guy over there in Ware County, he runs the wing T out of the spread, don't you, George?
Yeah, I was thinking about that when you were talking, and it did take. I remember that first year. It was Thomas Castellanos, who's, by the way, going to be with Gus Malzahn's UCF.
That's right.
Offense, which he's carrying down to Orlando. But I remember the first year there'd be he ran it from the gun, of course. And I remember there were times when they would just completely miss blocks. And Thomas would have 3 or 4 guys in his face as soon as the ball hit his hands.
Yeah.
But his junior and senior years, the blocking steadily came along with a good, solid strength and conditioning program for the linemen. And what we wound up with was a slightly smaller line, but they were very adept, athletic, and could slide, move side to side, and they were making their blocks, and it really, our offense was really something to see the last couple of years. So yes, I like the offense personally.
Do you really? Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I just don't quite understand running the wing T from the shotgun. If you're going to run the wing T, just run the wing T under center. I just don't understand running it from the gun, but some people do.
It's supposed to get everybody going downhill quicker. Basically, it's just a thing. I mean, you got more yards to get ahead of steam, getting back to the line, and gives more time for the kids to pull and stuff. I mean, basically, it's all.
Yeah, and if you when you see it as a well groomed oiled machine, it's a thing of beauty to watch.
Yeah.
You have the right skill players, and everybody kind of comes together. Man, it is exciting.
We ran
to watch.
LG. We ran that. Jay Walls ran that in Tifton. A lot of people don't realize it. That's what we ran in Tifton. It's basically a wing T out of the shotgun formation.
I got you. Okay.
That's why, we would get you with the little screens. Now we would pass out of it, of course, but you had the little screen passes and the little slants,
Bubble screens.
bubble screens, and then we hit you with a deep ball every now and then, or throw a halfback screen. But that's really what Tifton, we were really successful with it as well.
I got you. Well, guys, listen, we are way over time tonight. People got, double overtime tonight.
We ain't charging nothing extra either.
No,
That's exactly right. So let's just call it a night. I'm getting kind of hungry, so let's roll because I got to go get something to eat. But anyway, guys, you have been watching. Remember the Tuesday night show, the pregame blitz,
the
where we
Lounge
talk
Hater
about
Show.
all the programs out there. Although we talk plenty Lounge as well. So we invite you guys back next Tuesday night, same time, same channel, and we'll do it all again. So for all the super fans, I'm Larry Godwin. You guys have been watching Pregame Blitz on Tuesday night. We'll catch you guys later. Out.